Hi there. Today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the difference between an RRSP and a RRIF plan. This is something that causes confusion for many of my clients, so I thought it would be worthwhile taking a few minutes just to talk about the differences. The RRSP stands for Registered Retirement Savings Plan, and it's an accumulation vehicle where we're able to shelter money on a tax-sheltered basis and save it for retirement. One of the main advantages of the RRSP is that tax shelter growth feature, because if we're not paying out tax to Revenue Canada, or as we now call them, Canada Revenue Agency, that means that we're going to have more money working for us. So RRSPs, for obvious reasons, have become quite popular. The other advantage that they give us is that we're allowed to carve out a piece of our income based on the amount that we put into our RRSP. So that is to say, if we're having our taxes withdrawn from our paychecks at source, you wind up getting a tax refund at the end of the year once the Canada Revenue Agency sees that we've carved out a piece of your income and put it into that tax sheltered vehicle. So if that's an RRSP, then what's a RRIF? Well, a RRIF is the income vehicle that the RRSP gets converted into when it's time to start drawing out income in retirement. An analogy that I've often used is to think of it this way. If the RRSP is the accumulation vehicle, we can set up a bit of an analogy. Just think of a rain barrel. And that rain barrel is the RRSP that we're using to gather our retirement savings in. So in flows the dollars to the rain barrel, and there those dollars accumulate over time on a tax sheltered basis. Now, if we're going to convert that to a RRIF, which stands for a Registered Retirement Income Fund, that means that we're going to start drawing money out of the plan. So I think of it as a rain barrel with a tap on it. And when we turn on that tap, then we start the income flowing out. So these are our RRSP dollars flowing out of that accumulation vehicle. Now, an interesting thing about a RRIF plan is that once you set it up, you are obligated to withdraw at least a minimum amount of income from the plan each year. That's CRA's stipulated account minimum that they refer to. And the amount that you're forced to draw out depends on the value of the plan and your age at the end of the preceding year. So prior to age 71, the amount that you must withdraw is calculated based on a formula. And that formula is the number 1 over 90 minus your age. And I put that in brackets simply to say that we must do that calculation first. So in this example, someone who's, say, 60 years of age and they set up a RRIF, they would be obligated to take out 90 minus 60 equals 30. So in this example, 1/30th of the plan value would have to be withdrawn the following year. That can be paid out in a lump sum or on a monthly basis or even on a quarterly basis. That doesn't really matter. What's important is that that minimum income requirement must be satisfied. You can always take more than the minimum. You just can't take less than the minimum. Once you get to age 71, then that minimum is defined by a table of percentage values. So they stop using this nice little formula and they just give us a fixed table of values that says, depending on your age, you're going to have to take out a certain percentage. For example, at age 72, you would have to take out roughly 5.4% of the plan in the following calendar year as your income. So The table is certainly available from a lot of sources. You can find it if you were to search the internet, but you could also give our office a call and we'd be happy to provide you with a copy of that table. And that way you can do a little bit of planning to figure out how much income you're required to pull out, and then at least you know that minimum requirement. Again, you can always take more, you just can't take less than the minimum. I hope this has provided you with a little bit of clarification on the operation of RRSPs versus RRIFs, but stay tuned because we're going to have some future segments to this series of videos that will provide even more in-depth information. In the meantime, feel free to give us a call if you have questions. Our number here in Edmonton, 780-988-6564. Have a great day.